Hi guys, this is just going to be a quick video just demonstrating a modification that I've done to my recently arrived Bix 3 or Bixler 3. Basically, I'm not going to do a review on it, there's plenty of them out there already. The great thing about the Bixler 3 is it's improved a lot of the problems that the Bixler 2 had. I own a Bixler 2 and I've had all those problems. There's plenty more space inside, you can actually get to the electronics, you can mount the wings on better, there's a new mounting system that makes it a lot easier, and it really is a nicer design. Problem is, what they forgot to concentrate on was the rear end, which is a bit of a bugbear for me, which is something that Hobby King I think are missing a trick on. The Easy Star 2, for example, has literally a clip-in tail. They haven't done it with the Bixler 2, they haven't done it with the Bix 3, which is a real shame, because for me, portability makes a model a much more enjoyable prospect. If you can take it to the field in a smaller box, if you can hold it in your house in a smaller box, for a lot of people that makes things much more convenient, especially in the European world where you don't all have a pickup truck. So basically, most of the planes that I have, I try and make it with a removable tail. Now the problem with this particular one, on the Bixler 2, it was all fine because you could simply just create a plastic thread in here, and then you could have a thread going through here, and you could just put a hole, it was all through the foam, and then you could have a nylon bolt or a steel bolt if you wanted a bit more extra weight through here, and it would pinch the tail down, and obviously that would go through the middle of the actual tail itself. Now unfortunately, in a good way and a bad way, because the Bix 3 comes with this little chappy here, which is where the removable steerable tail gear goes, and also it's got a large carbon fibre spar that goes all the way to the back with a nice big plastic bolt and fixing mount for the for this tail gear. So the problem is you can't actually drill through the middle of that because it goes right down the centre. So what I've decided to do, and it's experimental at the moment, is a couple of modifications. First thing that I did was I've taken the back end, and there's a little cutout that I've made here. Now basically this little hole here where my finger is, that wasn't normally there, so I've cut that out with just a craft knife. I've then placed, and it's kind of hard to see, or recessed even, a rare earth magnet, square one from Hobby King, down there, and I've also placed one here on the back end of the tail. So this tail is now, this is all completely epoxied in, nice and solid. The problem is, if you don't take this recess out and you epoxy this all in, when it comes to actually sliding the tail in, you can't do it because there's a lump on the back of it, that lump there, which impacts this bit here, and it means that it lifts the tail up. So to counteract that, I've taken that slice. So the idea is, because these magnets are designed to line up, when I slide it in place, you'll see any moment now, clunk, and now I'm holding the entire plane up by just those magnets. Now that is actually pretty solid. These magnets are pretty strong. I've used them on many occasions for various things. Structural loading on a plane worries me a little bit. So just in case that isn't going to be strong enough from my point of view, the other thing that I've done is I've taken one of these nice cheap plastic coat hooks, and I've embedded it and epoxied it into the rear section, just here. And then, just for that extra piece of security, I've then, in the tail, taken, let's get that on camera, taken some fiberglass rod, and I've pushed it all the way through so it doesn't interfere with the rudder, and then I've created a little DIY hook here, just using a bit of cocktail stick and some hot glue basically. Not particularly pleasant to look at, but it should form the purpose. The idea being that when this is on, a rubber band will hook onto this. Even better, let me just demonstrate. So, tail snaps in place, clunk, and then it means that I can take a rubber band, this one's probably a little bit too tight, I can put it on that hook, and I can put it on that hook. And there you go. And you can see that what that is doing is that is now reinforcing those magnets and stopping it from going anywhere. There's a little bit of play in it, but really not a huge amount more than there is in the standard one. And because of the recess here, there's no sideways slop. I'm very pleased with that. So yeah, but I'm going to give that a go. Like I say, this is untested, so if you do try and do this, it might be worthwhile just waiting to see if I get some feedback on this. But certainly for the purposes of actually making it a removable tail, that's made it a nice quick fix. You know, it's not too difficult. It's not added a huge amount of weight by any means, these plastic parts. The magnets don't weigh much, and to be honest, with the sort of batteries that I fly, the 5000 milliamps, having a bit of weight in the tail is no bad thing. So yeah, I'm going to risk using it like this. I'm then going to risk using it with just the magnets just to see if this works fine, and we'll see how it goes. But just in case, for those people who are a little bit frustrated like I was that it didn't have a removable tail, that is an option, one that can be used.